What's up guys? Today on Robbie's Reviews, I am in the 2021 Porsche 911 Turbo S Cabriolet, otherwise known as the 992 Turbo S. Huge thanks to HGreg LUX in Pompano Beach, Florida for allowing me to take this brand new beast out today to drive, check out all the cool, amazing features, technology, and just honestly see how it compares to the base 992, which is technically also a turbo. This isn't going to be my normal, real full in-depth review, as a lot of this interior is the same as the regular 992. There's really only a few things that are unique to the Turbo and Turbo S. This being a cabriolet, of course, it is a convertible, soft top. It is the quickest convertible in the world, both as an acceleration, top speed, and the amount of time it takes for the top to go down. The top goes down, I believe, in about 11 seconds total with the windows. Just the roof is like 9 seconds. We actually timed it earlier at the dealership. So yeah, let's go check it out. All right, guys, here she is, the 2021 Porsche 911 Turbo S Cabriolet. This example is finished in the lovely Python green. It's one of Porsche's many amazing pastel colors. There's no metallic, it's just a straight gloss color. And it honestly really looks like signal green. I would say that it looks a little bit deeper, a little bit darker shade of green. However, it looks absolutely incredible on this car. And starting with the front end here, for the Turbo S variant of the 992 911 series or generation, it has received a facelift. Some might argue that Porsche kind of left it a little bit bland because of the 0.2 that'll be coming in a couple years, and they'll be able to really go crazy with it. However, I feel that the base, it's funny to say base model, but the regular 992, 911 Carrera S, Carrera 4S, whatever, Targa, already looked pretty aggressive and special from the front end and was undoubtedly 911. So they really just took the 992 Turbo S, both the coupe and the cabriolet, and they just made it look a little bit more aggressive. They added these kind of like reverse fangs here that are going up vertically into the car, and they kind of break off here. You have larger openings here for all the coolers and everything. These are the turn signals, they're full LED. Now the headlights, this is very special. So this is Porsche's LED matrix system. This is called X-Sight. And this whole housing can swivel up, down, left to right, side to side, whatever. It has the classic daytime running lights, which is Porsche's really just their thing. You always know when a Porsche is behind you when you see these four lights on, the DRLs, and I'll turn those on a little bit for you. You have the Porsche badge, of course, and being that it's not a GT3 RS or 2RS, you have the actual metal badge instead of just a sticker. This vehicle does not have the adaptive cruise control or anything like that, but it does have the lane keep assist. See the camera up there in the windshield. And it does have currently the front and rear spoilers out. So the front little chin spoiler is this little rubber skirt. It says Turbo S, and it's very cool. It's got some nice little cutouts here, and it's pretty cool. Comes out, apparently makes a difference. Keep in mind, if you do have that down when you're driving spiritedly, or in a situation where there's speed bumps, you are going to scrape it. I've seen people rip theirs. So coming around to the side here, you have Porsche's massive carbon ceramic braking system, the PCCB. You have the center locks here. There are 20s in the front and 21s in the rear. And you still get massive brakes back here. Of course, there's center lock. Now, as far as I can tell, the mirror is roughly the same. You don't have anything like the blind spot monitoring or anything like that. But I will tell you that for the 992 generation, specifically the Turbo and Turbo S, this vent here, which has become a characteristic of the Turbo and Turbo S, is actually smaller. This feeds air into the engine, and they just made it smaller so that air can more efficiently go around the body. Now, continuing up to the soft top convertible roof, you'll see that, I know I don't have a coupe to compare it to right now, but take my word for it, the 992 Turbo and Turbo S coupe is like, I want to say 99% the same as this roofline. They somehow, using like magnesium panels instead of your traditional like metal like structure that would fold the roof. There's like three pieces. You can actually see the outline of them here. They would fold basically to form a tonneau cover with a real glass window. And these three pieces, when they're up, they actually form just about the exact roofline of the coupe variant of this car. So that's just German engineering for you. I could tell you, I can sit and try to explain it to you all day how it works, but we'll just say it was the Germans. They know what they're doing. So coming around the side here, you have this amazing wraparound full-length taillight, just like the 992 Carrera S and Carrera 4S. But this time you do have much wider haunches. This is wider than the regular Carrera 4S, so they had to bring out the taillights a little bit, but it just fits it nicely, and it kind of goes into this body line here, and it wraps around. And see if I can get the key out. And I will turn the lights on for you in a second, but I've got the key right here. Pretty standard Porsche key, nothing crazy. I don't think they've even redesigned this key yet. It would be nice if it was a matching Python green, but who knows. So just hitting unlock. You can kind of see the light bar turn on, and it's interesting that it leaves this middle part out. So I wonder if this whole thing is just the turn signal. We're gonna have to try that out. But you can see here the active rear spoiler is out. It is adjustable. It does function as an air brake as well as just a spoiler, and it'll go down at higher speeds for just better downforce and aerodynamics. Of course, you have the this panel back here has been redesigned. Instead of having the two like weird lights here, the third brake light, the wing would block it. So you have the third brake light is just fixed up here, kind of like in the bottom section of the wing. So when the wing comes down, it goes right over this. And the exhaust is admittedly similar to the regular 992, but this does have the sport exhaust, and what denotes that is the large oval exhaust tip, similar to the GT2 RS. You can see in there. So it is a dual mode exhaust, and it does sound very good. We'll get some sound clips of that in a little bit. You actually have some functional vents up here. Remember, the engine is in the back. This is a rear engine car. It is behind the rear axle, so it needs all the cooling it can get, and the engineers at Porsche have seen to that. So coming around the side, you have things like the fuel door, of course the gas tank in the front of the car. It's nice, it says, no, it's upside down, it says Porsche. Nice attention to detail. 93 octane only in this car, obviously. Shouldn't even have to tell you that. And for the luggage compartment, obviously it just has a frunk or front trunk. You just run your hand along the side here, and this pops up, revealing a pretty sizable front trunk. I mean, I've got my camera bags in here, I've got my tripod and some other little things. You can see the windshield wiper fluid goes over there. This is a very, very lovely shade of green. I mean, everywhere that you see the green is just unreal. Python green, signal green, whatever you want to call it. It is Python green, but it's definitely a nice color. So we're gonna close this down. And just walking around the car, you can really appreciate just how much engineering has gone into this beast. I mean, all the little cuts and extra channels for air. And for example, the door handles here, you can see like a lot of cars now, especially in the VW group, they're kind of like retracting out of the door. However, if you lock it, they go in, and if you unlock it, they come out. Pretty cool. And of course, when you get inside the car and shut the door, they'll close too. And that door handle going flush with the door just allows air to really funnel under the mirror and into this smaller intake, ensuring that the engine stays as cool as possible. Now, speaking of the engine, this 992 Turbo S Cabriolet is powered by a 3.7 liter twin turbo flat six that produces 640 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque. So this is basically the second quickest car ever. It has a 0 to 60 of 2.2 seconds, which is only 1/10 slower than its big sister, the 918 Spider, at 2.1 seconds. And it's good for a 10.1 second quarter mile at 137 miles an hour. Yeah, and I believe it's got a top speed of like 205 miles an hour, something like that. It's absolutely just a riot, and I'm excited to get out on the road. I did drive it over here briefly from the dealership for 2 seconds, but I really just want to get a feeling for what this car is like to drive. And it is a brand new car. I'm not going to be really beating on it too much at all, but it's nothing the car wasn't built for. And now that the sun is coming out, you can see that amazing Python green. It's hard to translate it through the video, but it just looks stunning. It's coming out a little bit faded in the video, however, it is a lot richer in person. And yeah, just incredible car. So real quick, I'm going to put the convertible top down for you guys, and I'm also going to turn on those amazing LED matrix headlights. So a quick peek at the interior, and like I said, I'm not going to be going too in-depth into the interior. However, it does have this very interesting kind of open pore dry wood here, which I don't mind. I don't mind that it's in a car like this. I mean, it's fitting. This is a luxury car at the end of the day, a luxury performance car. I love that it has the yellow Sport Chrono on the dashboard, full leather. Has the yellow here for the tachometer, and the binnacle, binacle, whatever, the gauge cluster layout. These are obviously two separate TFT screens. It actually shows that it's a cabriolet. Pretty cool. It says Turbo S, and you have the yellow tachometer. And to start it, you simply put your foot on the brake. You have the little tab over here. It's everything's keyless entry and keyless, so start it up. And it's got the sport exhaust, of course, which I just opened. Sounds amazing. Right now we're going to turn on the headlights. Now we're going to put down the roof, which is all one touch. It's right here. Move down. Very, very cool. The car sounds great. Yeah, that sounds awesome. So right now, we're actually just going to put the ignition on. Headlights on. Spoiler stayed out. Actually, we're going to put the windows down. Everything's one touch. So here you have the Porsche LED matrix system, otherwise known as X-Sight. Okay, sorry if the video and the audio looks and sounds a little different. I had to switch over to my GoPro Hero 9 Black. The memory card on my camera decided to fill up. But continuing on, right now we have Porsche's LED matrix system on, otherwise known as X-Sight. And you can see here the classic kind of 4 LED box or square that forms around the main projector. This is the X-Sight. You can see all the different little elements and LEDs inside there. And if this were a European model, it would have the ability to kind of like shade out pedestrians and cars that are ahead of the 911, and kind of like highlight pedestrians and shade out oncoming traffic and stuff like that. And pretty cool. I'm not sure if it's actually being lit up or if it's just the projector itself, but there's a little lighting element or some kind of design down here. Looks very, very cool. You can see Porsche LED matrix system. And just looks very menacing from the front. It may not be a massive difference to the 992 Carrera S and 4S and Targa and all that, but it's enough to separate it as another model. And coming around the back, you have the cooling fans are still on, and you have this massive full-length LED light bar, and it just looks stunning. I mean, this is a car you're not going to mistake at night for anything else. It might not be immediately obvious that it's a Turbo S because this has the same taillight as the base model Carrera, and this vehicle has been debadged from the factory, so where we normally say 911 Turbo S, there's nothing there. It could say 911 or just nothing or whatever. And I love these 3D raised Porsche letters here. Looks very cool. And I also love how when the top is down, it kind of forms a perfect tonneau cover. So it's not a Targa, and there's not going to be a 911 Turbo S Targa. There's only a Cabriolet and Coupe. However, looks very cool. You do have the racing yellow seat belts. And as far as the seats goes, not anything crazy. They are pretty heavily bolstered. They are electric. They're heated. Cooled as an option. It does say Turbo S here on the headrest, embossed. Very cool. And overall, the fit and finish, I mean, everything leather wrapped. You open the door. It does not have the Burmester system. It has the Bose system, which is not bad for a bass sound system. It says 911 Turbo S here on the kick plate. Doesn't light up. Just has a nice kind of machined silver polished look. You have your trunk or front trunk opener and your rear hood opener. Got the Porsche floor mats. These are all your controls. And if you saw my 992 Carrera review, you'll see all this. But really, it's just a lot of the little things like this leather pole strap just feels great. Everything just feels nice. It's really just an incredible looking vehicle. All right, so sitting here in the 2021 Turbo S Cabriolet, it is very, very similar to the regular 992. Depending on how you have each car optioned, you can get them pretty close. As far as I can tell, this steering wheel is pretty much the same. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it is pretty much to me the same steering wheel. I do love the digital gauge cluster here, or I should say the binnacle, I can never know how to pronounce it, but these two TFT displays, which you could actually choose and go between navigation, when you know, whatever you want. I like having it on the drive modes. You can go back, you can change this, speed limit, all that. And then over here you have your 3-person memory, all your headlight controls, cruise control settings, your drive mode. This is your sport response, which gives you it's like overdrive mode. It gives you extra boost for about 20 seconds. You can just turn it off. It does have start stop. And here's your infotainment over here. You have your shortcut or hotkey for exhaust. You have this, which pretty much programmed to do anything you want. Traction control off, Porsche dynamic chassis control, which is not a cheap option. Let's see, we're going to car. Go to car over here. You have all your driving modes, chassis mode, exhaust system. You can retract and put out the spoiler. pretty cool. Of course, you have your sport chrono up here. Very, very nice. It's kind of like a lap timer. I love how it matches the tachometer. Down here you have more of that really nice open pore, kind of like satin or matte wood. You do have heated seats. No cooled seats on this car. It is an option. You have, similar to what Mercedes-Benz has with their air cap, you have this little kind of thing here. The only thing is, with Mercedes-Benz, you can have rear seat passengers with this part enabled. With the 911, you actually can't. So just by holding it, it goes back. Pretty cool. And it does make a difference with the top down when you're driving. Pretty cool little graphic here, shows that the wing is out. It shows a much cooler exhaust than this car has. I wonder if that's going to be on the facelift. Is this some kind of teaser or Easter egg? No idea. But it would be cool if it shows the top down. Over here you get a little movie. Actually, when you turn the car off, you can actually see that it shows the silhouette of the 992 Turbo S Cabriolet. So it's pretty unique. It'll be a coupe if you have the coupe, and it's a cabriolet here. It says Turbo S on the other side. And that should pretty much do it for the interior. All right, guys, now we're gonna get this beast out on the road and see what it's like to drive. What's up, guys? So right now we're about to take out the 992 Turbo S Cabriolet out on the road. I'm gonna start it up right now. And just for audio's sake, and so you guys can actually hear me, and I don't find out later that the whole, driving portion was ruined, I'm gonna put the top up. And as you guys know, it only takes about 10 or 11 seconds. Here we go, going up. And yeah, just like that. Roof is up and the windows follow right there. All right, so hopefully you guys can hear me. I am going to do some parts of the review with the exhaust open. Just for the time being, I'm going to have the exhaust closed, but we are going to put it into, we'll do sport for now. Actually, the exhaust just opened up anyway, so we're going to close the exhaust. It's nice that you can close it in the higher performance settings. So right now we're taking the 911 out on the road, 992 Turbo S, brand new Python green, and losing some light here, so pardon me if I'm going a little bit quick, but like I said, other than the engine, transmission, kind of a few other things like visually, there's not much difference between this and the base 992 Carrera 4S. So you get a lot of nice pops and crackles, I will say that. The rear-wheel steering is pretty amazing. It just, yeah, the steering, the turning on this car is incredible. I have it in sport mode right now. I'm going to lay into it a little bit. Wow. You know what? I'm going to pop it down into Sport Plus. There we go. Got the spoiler coming out. I really hope that the GoPro stays on right now. I have a GoPro on the bumper recording sound. And I hope it can take what this car can dish out. This isn't the most comfortable road back here, but this car handles it like it's nothing. And yeah, this thing is just brutal. Gotta love this thing. I've driven pretty much every generation, every variant of 911. Each new one impresses me more than the last one. And this is the latest and greatest flagship Turbo S Cabriolet. It is truly special. And yeah, there's just nothing like it. I'm gonna do a little launch control right here. Do the launch control into turn. Here we go. Yeah, that hurts. The claimed 0 to 60 from Porsche on this car is 2.2 seconds. I just experienced 2.5 in the Taycan Turbo S. I rode my buddy's 918 the other day. He actually also has a 992 Turbo S Cabriolet. And the 918 0 to 60 is 2.1 seconds. It's faster than this car by 1/10. This definitely felt up there, 2.2 seconds all day. It is brutal. Just like the Taycan, you get a pulling feeling on your jaw and your face, and you just kind of feel sick after doing it a couple times. But I mean, look at this, just roll into the power, like, yeah, it's effortless. I mean, 640 horsepower. I believe it's got a top speed of 205 miles an hour. You're never going to need to go to 205 with the top down or even with the top up. I mean, these cars are just getting so ridiculously fast and high performing, and it's really scary. So we're going to make a U-turn real quick. Yeah, that rear-wheel steering, the turning radius is just second to none. And then when you want to, actually put it back into normal, and drive it like a regular car. The exhaust valves are closed. Suspension is in, actually, PDCC was on, so yeah, now it's totally comfort mode. Steering is a little bit lighter. Still feels like a performance car, but it's also a luxury car at the same time. I didn't try the Sport Response mode. I'm going to try that next, actually. I'm going to put it back into Sport Plus. And once I get to a straightaway, I'm going to try Sport Response. The second you put it into Sport Plus, that suspension becomes a little unforgiving. But it is a hardcore sports car. The Turbo S is the king of the 911s. So, get onto a straightaway here. Alright, so Sport Response gives me 20 seconds of like an overboost. And here we go. Wow. Yeah, that is something else. Yeah, that is just unreal, guys. Holy crap. This is just, yeah, actually, no, let me make sure the GoPro is still there. From what I can tell, it is still there. Okay. Yeah. So this car is one of those cars that just is an assault on the senses, and really all 5 senses. I mean, the sound this car makes is just, it's funny, the parking sensor's going off because of the GoPro. I'm gonna turn that off. But yeah, so this car is really just on another level, and it's not cheap. I think the Cabriolet starts around like 200 grand. I think it starts at like 202, something like that. This has like a 225 sticker. Obviously, you can option this car higher, and you can have a lower option car. So this is a pretty nicely optioned car. I love the color. I love the racing yellow seat belts. Everything's nice. It's comfortable. It's a 911. I've driven the 992 before. I've driven 2, both the Carrera, the S and the 4S, rear-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. But yeah, I mean, I'm totally comfortable right now. I have it in Sport Plus with the exhaust valves open. I'm not sure how well you guys can hear me. However, this is just like any other 911. It's comfortable when it needs to be. It is a brute when it needs to be, and you can line this thing up next to anything. I don't care what it is. If it's a Bugatti Chiron, if it's an older Turbo S, Huracan Performante, something like that. And if you're gonna do a little drag race, there's no way that you're gonna lose that one. I mean, look at this power. It's just, yeah, the rear end stepped out a little bit there. I was afraid I lost the GoPro, but yeah, I mean, turning off Porsche dynamic chassis control, it softens up right away. I'm gonna put it into normal. The engine calms down. Transmission goes into the highest available gear. Yeah, it's the 8-speed PDK. It is so smooth. It always does what you ask of it. It'll never get confused about what gear it's supposed to be in, whether you're in manual mode, automatic, doesn't matter. Even in comfort mode, the way the car responds, its driving dynamics, its chassis refinement is really second to none. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing more I can say about this car other than Porsche has made yet another perfect sports car. The 911 is one of those cars that started out pretty damn good and only continues to get better as Porsche keeps making them. So yeah, that's about it, guys. All right, guys, well, that should do it for this review of the 2021 Porsche 911 Turbo S Cabriolet, otherwise known as the 992 Turbo. Once again, huge thanks to HGreg LUX in Pompano Beach, Florida, for allowing me to take this car out today to see what it's like to drive and to show you guys honestly how it compares to the base model 911 and if it's worth the extra money. And I believe this car has about a $225,000 sticker, and of course they're all going to be over sticker at dealerships. That's just how Porsches are, and some Mercedes too. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel to stay updated on all future videos. See you later.